It is terrible that the fascist state of Israel has continuously bombed and shelled Gaza, the West Bank and East Jerusalem for nearly 5 months. These territories are the land of the Palestine, which Israel has unlawfully occupied since 1967. And unless Israel withdraws, I call upon other nations to force back this fascist state. If the United States, the United Kingdom, can unlawfully invade states like Grenada, Iraq or Libya, they shall be part and parcel of a force, together with all the Arab states, driving Israel physically back from the occupied territories of Israel. Today I'm here to honour miners and their families who in 1984, 1985 fought the greatest workers' fight since the days of the Chartists and the Pol Pot martyrs to save jobs, heads and communities. I especially want to pay tribute to the young miners. In 1984 and 1985, who in every sense fought for the future. And of course, like Brennan, I want to pay especially tribute to the magnificent Women Against Pit Closures, who were at the forefront of our struggle. Who can forget, for those who were there, because it's never been fully shown on television or in film. But on the 12th of May 1984, I recall being part and parcel of the planning of trying to bring together these brave women who had established support groups in every coalfield, bringing them together in one national body. That was done on the 12th of May, when in Barnsley, South Yorkshire, we staged a march. More important, they staged a march. I confess that I anticipated, if we were lucky, 500 would appear. I arrived from a meeting with the government-appointed National Gold Board to greet them. I couldn't believe my eyes. 10,000 women were covering an area in Barnsley. The route that the march was to take had been planned by the police. But of course, women didn't do what men always do. And they told the Deputy Chief Constable, we're not going that way, we're going that way. And he said that that's the centre of town. That's the reason we're going that way. They marched, and as we came to the public hall, not only did we fill it, or they fill it, over 3,000 people packed in, an equal number outside, but on arrival, they were told by the Assistant Chief Constable, you can't bring banners into this place. they just brushed him aside and carried the banners in. There were only 2 people who were male allowed into the meeting. Jack Taylor, the president in Yorkshire, and myself. And as we got to the podium, we were approached by the police and the fire brigade. We were told, do you realise that you're breaking the law? There are too many people. I looked around. I said, if you're asking me to tell them to go out, you've another thing coming. But if you want to try it, you'll lose. That particular police officer had a grain of intelligence. He said, I note the points you've made, and I will give you time to vacate the hall. He said, it's 12 o'clock, and I want to see this hall completely empty by 6. I agree. As has been said by the representative of the Women Against Big Closures, a lot of them unfortunately no longer with us. They were magnificent. For the first time, we had women in attendance who never left a little village. But here they were, exercising for the first time their right to be equal to men, and more important, to support men who were on strike. The miners' strike of 1984, 1985 brought our union unprecedented support from workers in countries all over the world. We reminded all of the people, including the Tory government, that we had a right to strike in accordance with the United Nations Labour Organization Conventions 87 and 98. We have support, irrespective of all their attempts to stop us, of receiving from people in France, Spain, Italy, Hungary, East Germany, Ireland, South Africa, yes, the Soviet Union, and all the Eastern Bloc countries. And on Christmas, when people in the media say it was the bleakest time in the world for families, I can recall it was one of the proudest moments and the happiest moments I've been in. Yes. When I saw about 40 juggernauts rolling into Britain, only for a change by the dockers, they brought food, medical supplies, and a Christmas present for every child of a striking miner. And the women were magnificent. One of the most interesting things, we had the leading bands in Britain, the leading soloists, being late for their concerts to come and perform before them. We had some of the best, and they didn't want to go. It was a great day, and I'll never forget it. The French CGT were magnificent. They primarily did things that were against the law. Boatloads of coal loaded in France, coming from different parts of the east, suddenly got sunk in the Seine. In other words, they exercised the picket right to stop them. Like hundreds of thousands of trade union and labour movements, they provided support for us throughout that dispute. There's often been said in the smears that have been made against certainly one leader of the NUM, where we got it, despite the fact that everywhere we went, we were exonerated. But we raised over £10 billion in money that was distributed to every area in the British coalfield. Like hundreds and thousands in the trade union movement, they provided for us throughout the dispute. 40 years ago, the Tory government, led by Margaret Thatcher, I agree, declared war on the NUM. They'd been preparing for a showdown with the union since before the 1979 general election.